Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It is the ninth day of December 2022. I hope you're healthy and safe today. Happy Friday. Hope your family is also healthy and safe today, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food and shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders trying every day to save human lives, and those also that pick up garbage for us to keep streets and sidewalks and buildings and stairwells, sidewalk and parks clean. And those also that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that every day in every state in the United States are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. The victims also of pornography, child prostitution, sex slavery, and human trafficking. Double curses on the perpetrators, the perverts, and the profiteers who traffic in this human flesh and misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children, mostly children, on the streets of the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There's a scheduled basketball game tonight. The New York Knicks are scheduled to play the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte today. I like this because the Knicks usually don't do well on Friday night at MSG, but they do better actually on the road on Friday night. So I'd like them to have a good shot at winning today, and they think they do. The Charlotte Hornets are without Mark Williams, Dennis Smith Jr., LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, of course, because he's in the ambulance Anthony category of always being hurt, as well as Cody Martin. So these guys are missing, but of course, this is the league. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. The Knicks, in the meanwhile, are without Obi Toppin for at least the next 2 or 3, I think they said 3 weeks. We're going to be missing Obi Toppin. Apparently, he hurt his knee. Well, I saw him hurt his knee. I didn't know it was that's because he kept playing afterwards, but apparently there was some sort of broken bone in his leg. So he has to, but it's not, they're not talking about surgery. So probably could heal on his own, but he's going to probably need a good 3 weeks to heal. So to me, this opens opportunity for Cam Reddish to get back in the rotation. I hope they do use him to get back in rotation. If not, it's not unusual or wouldn't be surprising if Thibs went with 8 people because he does that. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Again, with the IQ situation in terms of him being bantered about in trade talk. Again, this is not about the Knicks trying to get rid of him, but again, it's more like the Knicks trying to get the highest amount of value can because he would be looking to start somewhere. And again, I mentioned several teams that I know he could start for, that there's opening for him to get in there, not only get in the rotation, but be the starting point guard. Miami, Washington, San Antonio, Houston, Minnesota, all of these places could use a guy like Emmanuel Quickly, very talented guard that could play. So I don't want to see, my problem is I don't want to see Emmanuel Quickly and Cam Reddish leave. Although if they did both leaves, that would be a bad scenario. But let's not forget, the Knicks do have Roku Jokovitis. He can play. And I mean, he can play. He's a good basketball player. He could play. And we would not be losing a lot to get him, because the Knicks have his rights. So if they did bring in Jokovitis, he wouldn't play much this year, obviously. He'd be a rookie in Tom Thibodeau's system, but he'd have to go through the hell that Deuce McBride went through and others in the past that went through. And then next summer come back to the Knicks and play on the summer league and then, earn his way into the rotation. That would not be a bad rotation with Deuce, Brunson, and Jokovitis. That would not be a bad point guard rotation. I don't mind that. So we'd have to see what happens, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because we do have Jokovitis. He is, I believe the Knicks still. I'm just checking, but I believe the Knicks still own his rights. I just want to make sure of that. But we did draft him. Let me see. At this point, he was selected by Oklahoma City Thunder, 2021. Rights acquired by New York Knicks. So he's still in Spain playing right now in Barcelona, but the Knicks apparently still own his rights. So that's good. So he would be somebody that we could bring along if we lost Emmanuel Quickly. Hopefully we won't. It would be nice if Emmanuel quickly would say, I'm going to accept my role on the bench for the New York Knicks in exchange for, say, $15 million a year, it would be nice if they did that. But it would be hard. I would think it would be difficult for him unless the Knicks are really running deep in the playoffs as constituted. I can't see that. I don't see that happening. I've seen them winning 45 games. I'm hoping they can win a first round series. I'm very confident they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not worried about that. But unless they're making a deep run in the playoffs, I can't see him giving up the opportunity to start somewhere as the starting point guard. And the teams I mentioned, or even other teams, to be a backup on the Knicks. And again, the moment the Knicks started committing to Jalen Brunson, the writing was on the wall for IQ. You can't start both of them. So the moment they started really trying to, deciding that they were going to go after Jalen Brunson, and again, I wasn't one of those that was into that move, but is what it is. It's what they did. Brunson's doing good for us. Can't complain, but that was the writing on the wall for IQ right there. So I think they're just trying to get the most value for him right now. I wouldn't sleep on Joko Bidas though. It would be an opportunity for him to come over. Next summer would be good for him to get in summer league again, like he did in 2021, and get some reps, get some G League reps. I would like him to get over here now if they're going to trade him quickly. Get him some G League reps, let him get acclimated to the system. Eventually, to me, he's a rotational piece. He's a good size, 6'4", 200-pound kid. Savvy, again, he's a lefty. The Knicks like lefties, but he's a lefty, and so, but he could play. So I'm not concerned with losing IQ in that scenario. Cam, I'm really concerned because he's very talented. I can understand it's not crazy why he's out of the rotation if you actually follow the steps how he got to this position. He was in camp. He was in New York. He worked his tail off. He came in. Grimes was already kind of slated to start, but because Grimes was hurt, Cam got starting minutes. Now, it was still going to be Grimes if Cam got hurt, and he did. He got hurt and missed some time. At that moment, Grimes came right in. If Cam, I told you at the beginning, Cam would have had to really turn it out to be, the starting two guard. And he could have. I mean, if he was dropping 20 a game, he'd be starting right now. But he couldn't do that. And I'm not saying that's fair, but that's what it is. And so some of us need to stop whining and realize this is what it is. So at this point, the Knicks have a choice. And Cam has a choice. With Obi out, they could play him or they can decide not to. Tom Thibs already mentioned RJ at the 4, which if I'm Cam, I don't like that either. I'm like, wait, man. What you mean? RJ at the 4. So I don't know what's going on, but I know Cam is worth a first round pick. And if he's going to the Lakers, that number 27 pick should be coming to us. So if that's the case, we'll work with that. But we'll see as this plays out because, like I said, I can see Cam getting minutes because Obi's out. I could also see him getting in the rotation if they trade Emmanuel quickly this year. Either of those things would bring him in the rotation. I hate to lose both of them. That's too much talent going out the door. Even with Roku Joko Bidas in the offense, that's too much talent going out the door. But for now, for tonight, they're playing Charlotte, 9-man rotation. I'm very confident in this defense now. As you can see, 2 games under 90 points. The Tom Thibodeau defense is back. Tom has engineered this. It takes time to find your rotation, and then it takes time for your rotation to find their continuity, their flow together. So you now have Grimes and you have Deuce in that rotation. Lockdown defenders, and that's what we needed at the point of attack. They've always needed that. Now they have it. They drafted Deuce for that purpose. But Deuce can also shoot the ball. Some of you are sleeping on the fact that he can shoot. Y'all just don't know. Some players can't just jump off the bench and score. That's why you have a Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford. That's what makes them what they are. They could do that. Not everybody could do that. But if you give in Deuce, like he had 27 minutes last game, and with an 8-man rotation, he certainly is going to get that. If you keep giving him, say, 18 to 22 minutes a game, maybe 10 games, he's going to drop a 20-point on you. I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to do that because he can shoot the ball. I mean, people just don't recognize because they didn't look back at his games at West Virginia. They didn't really pay attention in the summer league. They didn't really pay attention in the G League, or they discounting all of that. This kid could shoot the rock. Just like he could play defense, he could shoot. So he just needs the time to get acclimated in his role in the rotation. And his shot's going to start dropping. Just like we all knew that Grimes could shoot just by looking at his form, he could shoot. But he's shown some flashes from Houston and then Summer League and then early last season. So he's going, we knew he could shoot and he was shooting terrible at the beginning, but we knew it was a matter of time. And just last game, he drops 23, high level shooting, high percentage from all three levels shooting. And so, Deuce is going to do the same thing. I know some of y'all don't believe that. Some of y'all got to wait to see it and then after the fact, but it's okay. Some of us can see things after the fact. Some of us can see things in real time, and some of us can see it beforehand. I see this one beforehand. It's like I called Deuce in the beginning. So Deuce could shoot the rock. I'm not worried about him getting his shot off eventually once he gets in. And now he's not looking over his shoulder that if he gets a turnover, he's coming out the game. Nope. He's a key piece in this rotation, and give him about 10 games to get acclimated to that. And you're going to start to see that shot drop. So I'm not worried about that. But Cam, I'm hurt about Cam, wanting out. Again, I'm hoping to figure a way to keep him. There's, like I said, a couple of avenues. If IQ gets dealt, or now that Obi's, out for 3 weeks, that's 3 weeks. That's a lot of games. That's about 9 games, 10 games at least. So, that gives an opportunity for Cam to get back in this thing if he wants it. We'll see what happens. But, that's what it is. I like our chances against Charlotte tonight. With all these guys out, they can still beat us. This is the NBA. Any given night, any team could beat any team. But I like the way our team is playing right now, that high level defense they're playing. If they continue to do that, which I expect, and there's no foul trouble, we should have a nice evening this tonight. I'm not going to see the game till tomorrow night, but we should have a nice night. And then, get back home, for Sunday's game. So let's see what happens. If the Knicks are able to pull it out tonight, that would be their third straight win. And again, it's a nice flow going right now with the 9-man rotation that Thibs has set up. He got it to this point. He's going to probably keep it like this for a minute, and I'm glad he is. Let's wish Opie a speedy recovery. But in the meantime, it's going to be interesting to see if he goes 8-man or he brings Cam back in this thing. Also, the Hartenstein-Jericho Sims situation is worth keeping an eye on. I really always am an advocate that the cream rises to the top, which means that if you're talented, if you can play, eventually you're going to get your chance. In the Knicks situation with 3 centers, all 3 going to get a chance. And you've seen some Jericho Sims already. You'll see more of him. This is 82 game season. Okay. And so the cream rise to the top means he's going to get his chance. And when he does and he balls out, which he will, he's going to stay in the rotation. Okay. It's just a matter of time for him and Hartenstein because he's more talented than Hartenstein, period. And he's not one to have gotten hurt a lot, since he's been on the Knicks. He's only been here a year plus, but he hasn't gotten hurt much. So he hasn't gotten a whole bunch of nicks and stuff. So I'm thinking, give him some time. He'll win his minutes. And so when he does that, it'll just make the Knicks that much better. I'm still sticking with 45 wins. I still think the Knicks is going to move up in the standings. I'm not even looking at playing. I'm thinking they're going to be top 6 in the East eventually. They're getting better. People look at a snapshot and think that that's the whole season. The season is a work in progress. There's progression. It moves forward. Just like the seasons change. Right now is December. Right now is December 9th, right? But it's not going to be December 9th in 30 days. It's going to be January 9th. The seasons are going to change. The weather's going to change. Things are going to change. That's the way the season is. It moves. It progresses, especially with Tom Thibodeau, especially the way he coaches his rotation, especially how they develop over time. And they have a defensive focus, which they now have. So I'm looking for a win tonight. I'm looking for 45 wins going forward. If IQ has to leave, best to him for his career, bring in Joe Bidas. I hope we don't have to lose Cam and IQ. Hope we get to keep one of them at least. But we'll have to see what happens. But I don't want to, and speaking this, Zach LaVine, forget Zach LaVine. $215 million. He's on the wrong side of 30 years old. We just did not trade for Donovan Mitchell. We'd rather have Grimes there. We're not going to let a $215 million guy get there, especially if he's not going to get us into the second round of the playoffs. And Zach LaVine ain't doing that. Mitchell at least been in the playoffs all his career. Zach LaVine has not. So, and here Chicago, they struggling this year. Zach LaVine is there. He ain't carrying them. If next summer, somebody's going to want to leave there. There's some superstar that's going to win out next summer. I want us to have the assets. I want us to have played these guys that we drafted so that their value all goes up. And if we have to trade some of them, then we have the assets to do that, to get a guy that's a legit superstar. I'm talking about a guy that's a difference maker. A guy that when he joins our team, we know we're going to the playoffs. The question is how deep we run it. That's what we're talking about. Zach LaVine ain't that guy. And for $215 million, well, we only got to play Quentin Grimes $2 million. Come on. No. So, no. We move forward. We got our squad. Thibs brings that defense into Charlotte tonight. Let's get this W. Y'all be safe. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk on Sunday before the game against the Kings to review this game. We'll be looking at this game tomorrow night. Shalom.